remember when Sonny and Cher got divorced when I was 6, and it rattled me.
I had a lover in college, and it was a little tryst. I was a naughty boy.
Things that make you go,
Hello, sister friends, and welcome to the Tuesday Night Live. We have some moral support here with us to get through. We're really going to need Miss Cher and Mr. Bozo come next week, I think. We'll get through this one today together, right? Right? Did you guys get a chance to see my video? Was that not a record time? I turned that over in, well, I guess 2 days. Proud of myself. See what you can do, Jenny, if you really put your mind to it. So many more things I wanted to add to it. That's okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Let me see who's here. And we'll get started talking about this. Oh my goodness. Look at all the comments. We're up to over 100 comments already. Okay. Let me see who I see. Carmen Metz. Hello. Just a small town girl. Hey there. I'm excited that you're here for the live stream. Lynn Skinner, so excited that you're here. Thank you for always being the top one A++ best moderator that there is. All right. Evelyn, good to see you again. All right. Dorothy, good to see you, Oregon. I just met somebody from Oregon a couple weekends ago. Anyway. That's neither here nor there. We'll catch up later. Kitty, good to see you. Kitty just joined our SOS level, I believe. I remember for 3 months. Yeah, and for 3 months. Yes, Kitty. Whoop, 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 whoop. I know your name came up for something. I can't remember what it was. Did you bump up a level or something? Something. You did something. I remember typing your name in somewhere. Okay. Let's see. Marie Crab, good to see you. Steamfrog 99. If you guys want to write the number you were when you hit the like button, go right ahead. Let us know where we are in the likes. Joni C, hello. BL, hello. Central Time. Oh, I only made it to one live, and I really hope that I can make it tonight. This must have all been before. Oh, yeah, this was a few minutes before we started. Well, hopefully you're on here right now, BL. So it's starting now. What is Central? Central right next to Eastern? Yeah, Central. Yeah, Central's next to Eastern, then it's Mountain, then it's, okay, so then it's Pacific. So yeah, just an hour off. That would be 6 o'clock your time, opposite way. Okay, Amy D, hello. All right, I'll say hi to a few more and then we'll get going here. Mama Squirrel, good to see you. As always. Nadine, hey there. Okay. The poor horse, right? The poor horse. That thing was like, get off of me. Get off, get off, get off. J. Lou, hello. Oh, thanks for reminding me, J. Lou. I got to get my banner scrolling across here. There we go. There's your name, J. Lou. I told you on Sunday night I could just add it right away while we were doing it live. And then, senior brain, 2 seconds later, I forgot to do it. So here you go. I don't know why it didn't pop up on my chart on Sunday, but we are good to go now. Okay. Let's see here. Danny's here. Hi. Hi, Carol. Good to see you too. Elizabeth Murphy was number 14. I'm sure we'll well be on this now because we had so many comments. Alyssa's here. Hi, Alyssa. Got to respond to you, Alyssa. Rhonda, good to see you. I saw there's a tornado thing going through. Kind of hits Ohio too, but not really where I am, I don't think. Take care. And I know in Tennessee, they don't have basements really. So like in Ohio, you go to your basement when there's a tornado. There's no basements. Scary. Want a pizza me's here and coffee buzz. We have pizza and coffee. Awesome. Karen, good to see you. Thank you for hitting that like button. Peaceful Pasture Sanctuary. I love the name of that. Is that someplace you work? I need more information. Okay. I believe it said hi to Amy already. Coffee Buzz. We have conversations going here, so I can just try to skip. But if I skip your name, it's not because I don't like you. It's just because I try to scroll quickly. Liz S., what time is it? Yep, I'm trying to keep this like around 5 minutes at the beginning and then move on. Rebecca, hi. Thank you for hitting the like button. Appreciate you. Deborah, hello. Beth, hello. From PA. Lucy, hi there. I'm so glad you're here, Lucy. Crystal's here too. We're going to have a lot of new names. We had a lot of new subscribers this week, so that's excellent. And Cece, fantastic. Or since last Tuesday, I guess I should say. Not necessarily just this week, but last week too. Cindy from Oz, welcome down under, knit my bit. Welcome from not down under, above. Hello, miss. So nice to have the video quickly, but I do not mind longer videos. I know. I'm going out of town. Got a lot of work to do for a lot of my jobs, and I don't know how I'm going to get it done. My goal, 7 hours of sleep every night. It's supposed to be 8, but if I can hit 7 hours every night, then that's it. And then the rest of the 24 hours in the day, I'm just working until I can get to, and then I'll be out of town from Thursday until next Tuesday. Crazy, but I'll be here Tuesday night. We'll talk about whatever happens. That's for sure. DJ Tag, hello. All right. Peaceful Pastures was number 19. Sea moss, 80% sea moss is here. Okay. Dekova, hi there. Thanks for hitting the like button. Deborah, did I say hi to you? I'm not sure. Just in case, I got you covered. Okay. Mary. All right. 2 more and I'm going to go on. Let's see. What's the next one I see here? Motherhood is Ministry. And Alexandria. Hi there, Alexandria. Caught you right at the beginning. Thank you, Joni. I'll do one more to say thank you. I already said hi to you, Joni. Okay. Okay. Now I am going to try to stay up on this. Oh, interesting, Rebecca. I'm an equestrian. I had a hard time with Cody and Robin and that poor horse. It did not look right. That horse did not look comfortable at all. Yep. It looked like, all right, I know nothing about horses. Nothing. My guess would be that would be like on the closer to the tailbone or the spot, like of the spine. Like I would think aren't saddle. I don't know. I know nothing. Look at me talk. I should have contacted my veterinarian daughter. Although she's not, she studied horses to pass the test, but that's not like the field she's going into. But I'm still sure she would have had an answer for me in terms of what's it like if somebody rides in the saddle and someone rides behind the saddle on the ass of the horse. Because based on the horse's reaction, I'm thinking it was not good. And they're not so thrilled with that. Hi, random old lady. I thought it would be fantastic if they did get thrown from the horse. I don't wish them harm. I didn't want them to get hurt. But just enough to slide off the back end, enough for Robin to do her little onto her back and just see Cody's reaction. Just because it had been a great comparison with the whole McKelty one. I got to teach that horse a lesson. Okay. All right. Oh, we missed you too on Danny. We missed you on Danny. I'm like half reading what you said and responding at the same time. It doesn't work well. We missed you on Sunday, Danny. Good. Glad to have you here though. Okay, Farm Girl. So glad to catch you live too. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying the quiet part out loud. You're welcome. Okay, I hope myself sometimes. Susan Shea, good to see you. Interesting episode, right? I want to know what, I'm going to do a poll. And I should pull it out to the side because last time we did a poll and then I forgot I did a poll because I watch you through StreamYard and the poll is on YouTube. I'm going to do a poll though here. Let me go back to YouTube. Get the content. Get to lives. There we go. Go into options. Nope. No, don't go into options. Go into live. Control room. And I'm going to put up a poll. I'm curious how many people did this episode go the way that they thought it was going to go. That's all I really wanted. Like was it basically, obviously you don't know exactly what's going to happen. So generally speaking, I felt like it made a hard left turn for me. I was not prepared. I really thought that last 10% of it was going to be the majority of it, but they weren't going to keep it like all set. Like it wasn't going to be a whole hour of that, but they were going to splice in interviews and past footage. And like this would really be the like our memorial service to him, TLC's memorials, like the true tribute. Like I felt like the other 2 episodes were leading up to this. And then this was going to be all about Garrison. Shocking, right? Who am I? All right, so let's go ahead. Let me see here. Let's see. Very simply, was this episode what you expected? Content-wise, I'll say. Start the poll. You guys can let me know what you think. I'm going to pull this tab out too so that I see it so that I don't forget about it at the end. Okay. So yeah, but I guess we can kind of walk through it, and then we'll also just be talking to each other and talk about different stuff here too. Thank you, Tammy. My doctor insists on it. And then when I realize I can't remember like the name of anything, I should be listening. All right. I love the beginning of it with the whole fishing things. I love that not only was Leon and Audra there, but they allowed themselves to be filmed. And Leon even spoke, like not in an interview, but I was surprised by that. I was really surprised. I felt like that was very generous for somebody who does not want to be on the show at all, which I respect. Yeah, I expected nothing from Logan. I expected nothing from Leon. Those would be the 2 I really expected absolutely nothing from. And they had the right to not be a part of it whatsoever. What I found interesting, if I could just step aside for a second, is that we saw, we saw Logan. It's not his, he didn't have a choice, really. He was with his family, so forget it. I was going to say, I saw Logan, but Michelle stepped back. No, okay, let's talk about this for a second. Jumping off topic, but I don't have it written down, and I know I'll forget, and I didn't talk about it in my video, but it was an observation I had. When they were at the gravesite, talk about jumping to the end, and then we'll come back and fill in. When they were at the gravesite, did you notice that the kids were all together graveside and everyone else stepped back? So, and the wives. So Christine was up there. David, he was somewhere in the back. I don't know where. Like behind other cousins in that too. He was respectful of this being their family's mourning a lot more than it was his. Like, he was like, and you be with your family, comfort each other with your family. Like, I've been here for you, Christine. I'll always be here for you. You're going to come home to me. Everything's going to be fine. But now rely on each other, lean on each other. That's what I took away from all of it, which is what I think was the same situation with Logan. At first, I kept thinking, there's no way Michelle's there. Because in all prior episodes, when we never saw Logan, we always saw Michelle. Michelle didn't care. I shouldn't say she didn't care. I don't know. I'm not Michelle. I'm not in her brain. I don't know her. But we would see Michelle. We would never see Logan on a show. If he was at an event, we would know he was at the event because we would see Michelle. But we didn't see Michelle at all on this. But then I noticed at the very end, she was there twice, actually. Saw her at the very end. I'm like, that is her. And both of the times she was with Logan. Now it was kind of the back of her. So not 100% sure, but if not, there was another girl with blonde hair that was rubbing his back when he was by the graveside at one point. So it'd be very odd. I believe that she actually put something in the grave too in the one scene, but I'm not 100% sure. Nevertheless, it goes along with the same notion of that family really let all of the immediate family members to Garrison be together for each other, be a family up in the front, and everybody else step back, which I think is really interesting on part of Michelle too. 'Cause at the one point when she turned, I saw her like what she was crying. Obviously, well, we're not family at all, but she has known him for a long time. I mean, since high school. And he was still in high school for a few years, like she met Logan in high school, I believe. So they dated in high school, and then they went to college, and then they got married, and they've been married forever. They're in their 30s. She's known Garrison a long time. So she really has a connection with him. She still stepped back. And yet, Robin and her family, right up there at the beginning, which goes along with the same notion of Cody and Robin on one side, the whole rest of the family on the other side. Very odd. It was good for TLC in filming, but I know there's no way that TLC asked the family to do that for filming. There's no, that would have, you're not going to dictate where people go and stand when it comes to filming. No. But yeah, Michelle, like even when Logan, I'm pretty sure it was Logan. First, I thought it was Gabe, but I'm pretty sure it was Logan. I have to go back and I didn't have time to really pause like I sometimes do and try to nitpick things. I didn't have time this week. But I'm pretty sure it was Logan because his hair looks just like Gabe's now. He's got the same short curly hair going, but it's longer-ish. Anyway, they look very similar from a distance now. Pretty sure it was Logan who went up and gave Robin and the kids all a hug. But Michelle wasn't around at that point either. All right. I'm going to jump in and see what you guys have to say too. Oh, did they meet at UNLV? Did they? Okay. Farm girl. I thought they met in high school. Like they were friends, but not like they knew of each other. But anyway, what do I know? I don't know. It's all rumors. Sorry. I have cups that are loud today. That's my bad. All right. Well, that's true, Danny. Yeah, he had 4 years of his undergrad. He had 2 years of his MBA, and then he's been out working since then. So, yeah. Yes, it was Logan who was beside Janelle when she went to the grave to help her kneel down or get up. He was doting on her. Yeah, he was. That was really sweet. My nose tickles. That was very sweet. And did you notice Logan also tried to help his dad? He's like, oh, can I give you a hand when Cody went to get out of the... And wouldn't that have been nice for Cody to say, thanks, son. You don't need to have the hand. Your son just reached out to you. Mr. Until they reach out to me, I'm not going to do them. Although, Logan never had beef with him, but still, just the visual of it, just the touch, how much is he hugging and all his kids? The look of it, of all of that for the rest of the family, since clearly at this point, he still hadn't made amends. And this is months. What was it? 4 months, they said, after 4 months later. And Cody is still saying, well, we know it's over a year now and it still doesn't look like things are great. But a year, 4 months later, and he didn't make amends before the funeral. How is that even possible? I can't relate. My nose keeps tickling. Okay. But yeah, so yeah, he went to help his mom, he went to help his dad, and Cody's like, no, I got it. Got out by himself. And did you see also when Cody went to take his coat off? I don't think it was his brother. I think it was his brother-in-law, the one who did the speaking. He's like, here, Cody, let me help you. And he went behind him to grab it. And then Cody like reached out to Robin to grab his sleeve. Again. Just, oh, he's going to get me all wound up again, isn't he? Classless. It's a binge day of senior perspective. I hope I don't disappoint you this week because, oh, I do have something. I have an old Mother's Day thing almost done editing that'll come out this week from Tata Farms. Obviously, it's old, but that's okay. Still. All right. Yes, Alyssa, the audacity. Robin standing up front. David stayed respectfully back. Impressive. Yeah, she couldn't. Yeah. It's interesting. I did notice Brianna kind of was distanced from the rest of the family. So it was Cody and Ari attached to him at some points, and then Robin and Saul. She put her arm around him a lot of the time, and Aurora kind of right by them. Step, back a little ways. They like weren't in a clump, but they're, pretty much like here's their family. And then there was a few paces because for a while there, I didn't know where Brianna was, and then I saw her. Yeah. And I don't know if Dayton was there or not. Because we didn't see everybody, clearly. We didn't see everybody. They blurred out some faces. He could have just been like, I'm not even going to stand by you because I don't want people to associate me and start talking about if, I want nothing to do with the show. So I'll be there, but I'm going to stand at a distance. And if he would have told producers, I don't want myself, even the back of me on camera, they would have saw to it that he wouldn't have been on camera. So, but I didn't see, I didn't see him. All right. There was so much there at the end. Yes. Why wasn't McKelty there? All I know is what I put in the video today, Beth. And correct me if I'm wrong. I may not be able to catch it just because there's so many comments here. But if I skip over it, I apologize. I wish I had a marker of, I'm not really sure. She, in one of her Patreons a while ago, because this was filmed a year ago, talked about it, and I just kind of dismissed the whole thing when somebody was talking about funerals and all that. She's like, oh, we're going to have a couple different tributes, and there'll be a few different things going on, and there's the funeral home, and then there's this military tribute, and there's going to be another thing in Wyoming, and the family's having some reunions, and I'm pretty sure she said the whole family's getting together at Disneyland at one place. And I thought they were all going to be getting together in North Carolina at one point. And that she said, we simply can't go to everything. We just don't have the time to take up that, I felt like she implied that they couldn't take the time off or she couldn't take the time off. I don't know if Tony is that busy. And maybe it's just because she did have 3 kids that would run around. I mean, Maddie's kids really are the same ages, really. But 2 of them are twins and they're little, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I mean, they could have also probably found somebody to watch the twins during the actual gravesite part of it. But I don't know. I just remember her just kind of brushing it off. Like, I don't think we're going to do the Oregon thing, or we didn't do it. And then she moved on. Did I say Oregon? I was just talking to somebody else about Oregon right before coming here on the live stream. Wyoming. And that was it. I could try to go back and find it. Because it was like a year ago, and because she was talking about it in current time, but we were in a whole nother season. I don't know which episode it would be, but maybe somebody else saw it and they can chime in and help us out. I'm pretty sure she just sort of brushed it off like, yeah, there's just a lot going on, and lots of places across the United States doing different things with family. So we're just going to pick the ones that work best for our family. And it didn't work out for her family, so she didn't go. Yeah. DJ Tag, thank you for the super chat. Aw. Yeah, it has been hard, hasn't it? Yeah, it's good to get together and just chat about this together and get through it. And thank you, Little Miss, for the super sticker, and Joanna as well. Appreciate all of you. Thanks so much. Okay, I'm kind of going backwards here a little bit, and then I'll catch back up again. But I was jumping into the whole gravesite thing when it caught my attention. I knew I'd forget to talk about it if I didn't mention it at that moment, but I found it interesting. Robin decided to be right up there by the gravesite, but nobody else but immediate family was really up next to the gravesite. I guess typical, I could say. It was heartbreaking to hear Cody dismiss Logan's hand. Yeah, when he's like, no. He didn't even look at him either. He's like kind of brushed him off and I'll get out myself. There was a lot of Cody ego in this episode. That's why I didn't expect it. Okay, so glancing back over at our poll, it's about half and half. Half and half. You guys are going to have to say in the chat why. So we have over 100 votes already. 48% said yes, this is the content that they expected, and 52% said no. Wow, look at that. So now I'm curious, for those who said yes, this was what they expected, why? Did you expect Cody to be this Cody, or did you expect them to show so much Cody? I guess that's what it is. I'm really kind of talking about what the show edited, what they put out to us, because Cody will always be Cody, but like, I'm just surprised. With as much Cody as we had in the last episode, why they put it all in this one too. I mean, it was different stuff for sure, unless they're just trolling him, because I don't think it was a good look for him. I really don't. Lynn, I don't think it was Logan offering to cut. No, I think it was Logan. I'm pretty sure it was Logan. Pretty sure that was Logan. He was, yeah, over to that right side. Trying to think, where was Gabe during that? I'd have to think back. And Logan does look a lot now with those glasses that he has. He looks and his haircut looks just like Gabe's. They're very similar. Actually, Gabe's haircut, I think, is a little bit shorter than Logan's now that I think about it. Love that we got to see Leon. Me too. I hit the wrong button on the poll. Alexandra, you make me laugh. Oh, Candace, thanks for hitting the like button. Number 66. That's fantastic. Thank you all for hitting the like button. I appreciate that. It really does help more people find out about the channel. The more activity involved, the more the algorithm says, oh, people are interested. We'll let other people know about it. We can get more sister friends. Well, this encapsulates what it's like. What encapsulates what I thought about the whole episode too. We did see actual tears from Cody, but then he made it so much about himself. Like he couldn't help himself. All right. Alyssa. Robin's shirt did say Mountain Girl on it. Totally appropriate to sexualize this episode. Yummy. She's the worst. Unbelievable. I can't believe that. I was just... They're trying so hard. They are trying so hard to prove how in love they are. It makes me think things are really bad now. It really does. At first, I just thought, okay, Cody kept saying, I can't touch her. I can't express my love. And we all knew that he liked her the most. So we thought, okay. But I thought for 2 years you had her in the house all the time. Why must this happen on camera all the time? Normal people don't 15 years later have to be groping and talking about each other like that all the time on camera for millions of people. They can control themselves. Something's off. Something's off. There's problems there somewhere. I don't know where. Something's off. Okay. I'm going to kind of jump a little bit more ahead now. See if I can catch up closer to where we are. And also mark down stuff that I already talked about. Should we hit this since we're on the subject? Or is it going to be too much too soon? Should we do something lighter? While we're at it, let's just pile on. And then we'll start talking about some light stuff, because I'm sure this KNR stuff will come back again and circle around. But I also didn't talk in my video about Cody's dream. There's another poll. I just want to know. Okay, we're going to end the poll. We ended up with more yeses and nos, but basically it's 50-50. It's basically 50-50. I don't think I can do 2 polls at once. No, I can't. Okay. So interesting. Make sure you write in the chat and tell me why, for those of you who thought it was, because it wasn't at all what I expected. I really didn't think it was going to go that way with Cody. And so much of him and them just laying into him, talking all about himself. What about that this past episode was why? Just why? Why was it what you expected? I'm curious. Okay, so we're going to do another poll. And what was it that I was going to say? It was a brave set. Oh. Do you believe that Cody really had that dream? This is question number 1. I could probably do a follow-up one afterwards, but let me just start with this, because there's really 2 levels to this, where I'm on the fence with both my first question and my second question. That I had a dream the other day. Do you believe that what he shared, he may have had a dream. I think that's a common thing after people pass away, that you dream about them in your life and all that. But the way he presented it, do you think that he really had a dream, just as he said it, and that the things in his dream that Garrison said to him was really part of his dream? Or was any of that performative? Let me know. There we go. We got the poll started. All right. And then we'll get back on to everything. Okay. Oh, DJ Ted, you're so sweet. Thank you very much. That's very kind for your efforts to watch so many times to speak to us. It was a very hard 3 episodes. That's very kind of you. It was a hard 3 episodes. I did not expect sadness for 3 episodes. I didn't. I guess I understand why they had to put the Cody and Robin stuff in there. I mean, there was no comic relief about it. We had to turn it into comic relief in us talking to each other, or me doing some editing and commenting on it, because there was nothing funny about any of the episodes, really. But you could pull a few things out and do it to try to lighten the mood a little bit. They did a nice job of putting in sweet, nice things. So the whole fishing thing, the whole getting together to get ready for going to the gravesite when they were all in the, I guess, Airbnb together. At the campfire, the shooting off of the fireworks, just the little interaction of Axel going up to Gabe saying, "Axel, come here," and then showing him the fireworks and saying, "Hey, you want to shoot this off? Okay, you can never touch these without an adult, and you have to ask Dad's permission." Like, just that sweet. Ah, that was precious. It was precious. I loved it. And then to see Axel so excited out there, even with the sparkler, but then shooting something off and running away. I could have watched 30 minutes of that. I could have. I don't know, maybe the viewership would have gone down. Not for me. I would have watched it and I would have talked about it. And that would have been okay for me. We could have talked about the funeral and we could have had those sweet scenes. We didn't have to go this way with Cody. I mean, I felt like we could put all the Cody stuff in one episode and just bashed him in that one episode. Emotionally, I didn't like the topsy-turvy up and down of anger and, oh, this is sweet, and then sad, and then anger. I don't like the anger part of it. That's what it is. I pinpointed it. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's see. Let me get back to the chat here. 50 more comments since I clicked on DJ's comment. So I'm way behind. Okay. Peach says, Cody's dream sounds like a manufactured fairy tale Robin would love. Oh, interesting. Notes to Self 444 talked about the drive to make everything symbolic and precious. So if he creates this story, then it becomes this, the symbolism, the whole train and the casket on the train. And we can talk about that next, but all right. So maybe that's it. Like, I'll create the story that will have this symbolism to share with everyone, because that's important, that in our faith and our culture to have symbolism. I also felt like it was Cody's way of communicating to the rest of the family, since they don't speak, he doesn't talk to them, and let them know, oh, by the way, everything's okay. Garrison and I were cool. He told me everything's fine. So I feel like it was manipulative. I do. Because I feel like if that would have really happened to me, there's no way I would have been able to verbalize that at a burial site. Cody's a whole different beast, so maybe he would have been able to, but I don't know. It was too specific and planned out in terms of making Cody look good. One, Garrison came to visit me. The father, the first one that held him, the most important. I didn't really put that in the video. I listened to it when I was taking a shower today. I'm like, I'm a little late. I already posted it. I hope it's okay. So I was listening to it in the shower. And I thought, I really didn't explain. So many of my videos, I really didn't explain myself well on that. I really didn't explain really well what I was thinking anyway. I guess, not trying to say, but what I was thinking. I didn't articulate it well. I just felt like, all right, he is not communicating with anybody, which makes no sense. And so I feel like this was his opportunity to paint another picture besides the whole casket, Wild Wild West. I'm in a movie, Western, that I love to watch on TV. I'm living it out now. Besides that, we have this, I need everybody to know Garrison visited me, the dad, the most important. And that was the part that I was trying to get at before, that he felt like he was the most important, not just that he's the dad, but like, and the most important. I'm more important here. I'm the one that gets to decide what happens here at the funeral and everything because I'm the dad. So, like, yeah, you're the dad. You're the one that should just be sitting back and letting the kids take over. That's what you do in this situation. You're not supposed to be the one making all the decisions in that, because most people are so emotionally wrought and distraught and tormented in these kind of situations that they can't make those kind of decisions. Mary talked to it, how she was calling Jen, and Jen's like, this is what you do next. This is what you do next. We talked about that in the previous episode. But no, Cody seemed to be perfectly fine. Angry, in fact, that his grown men sons in their 20s and 30s were handling the situation. Mostly for their mom, I do believe. But no, he wanted, I got this, son, step off, basically, he says. Oh, so this little speech he gave, so convenient that Garrison visited him. Garrison spoke to him. Garrison said that, oh, don't worry about it. I'm good where I am. It's fine here. Okay. And then, this is why I didn't believe it. I just felt like this is so convenient for the narrative of Cody. And then he throws in at the end, and hey, when I'm hanging out with you, like, don't do that sad music anymore. It's a bummer. So that Cody had a way to communicate with everybody. I just want you all to know that I'm grieving. Lest I don't look like it, or I don't sound like it, or whatever. I am grieving. My son knows because he told me, turn off all that sad music. That's what it felt like to me. I felt like way too convenient of a story to make Cody be the hero. Maybe I'm wrong. And I feel bad if I am wrong. But I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Not at all. Okay. I'm the dad. Candace. Why did I expect to honor Garrison? TLC could have edited Cody and Robin's part down to a minimum. Cody, as usual, made this about himself. Robin decided Garrison is safe when it came time to bury him. Oh yeah, all of a sudden now it's safe to be there. But not to talk about him, because she didn't have one kind word to say about him. Actually, she didn't have one word to say about him. And that was really disappointing too. Because obviously Garrison's a great kid, beloved by everybody. But we can even take somebody who's horrible and be at their funeral, and you can find something that's redeeming about them to say that's kind. There's always something you can say, even if it's neutral. But this was a child, and essentially, based on the framework of their family, one of her children. She didn't have a word, not a word to say about him. Everything was all about Cody. Everything. Disgusting. Which, I keep going off on tangents. Speaking of it being all about Cody, I didn't write this down, but I was listening to this, and I had so many things that came to my mind when I was listening to my own thing. I'm like, oh yeah, and didn't say that. Oh, I didn't say that. I'll say that in the live chat. I was in the shower. I didn't write anything down. I was picturing as I was showering, and I was like listening to the Cody speak when Robin was sitting and they were doing the talking head interview together. And she's like, and you needed to do that, right? You needed to go up there. And this was important to you, and you had to take the tools. And this is, she's just repeating everything. I thought, I didn't think of it before until this moment when I heard it again. I thought, Cody was sitting there that whole time going, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking, Cody's thinking, yeah, okay, yeah, I've said this 10 times already. I know I said it at the gravesite, and I said it here. I know I said it in my Talking Head interview. I said it before I went on a pilgrimage, and I said it. So for her to bring it up again, he was kind of like, yeah, is this all you got, Robin? Because I've discussed this already a few times. Let's come up with something fresh here. Even Cody was over it. Even he realized that's what it felt like when he's like, yeah, I got nothing to add. You're right. Yes. I did say that. Okay, Life with the Kiss. Give both sides of the story here. Says, I do believe that Cody has said, even if only to himself, why you gone, boy? And that was real. I felt that part. I can see that. I can see that. I still don't think it happened. Like, I still don't think it was part of the dream or all that. But I could see what you're saying. I could see in his head him saying that over and over again, actually. Why you gone? Why you gone? And him not being able to answer the question because he has no ability to self-reflect on everything that went down. Or let's take the fight out of it. No ability to understand what Garrison was going through. You know? You wouldn't say, why you gone, boy? Janelle's not asking that. I mean, she's sad about it all, and she doesn't know why it happened when it happened and all that stuff too. But she's the first one to say, this is a boy who struggled. This is a boy who struggled. Not only, well, obviously we had the fight, and she never brought that up. To her credit. To her absolute credit, Janelle never once pointed the finger at Cody. Indirectly, maybe. We can talk about that. Let me write that down because I'll forget. Okay. But she basically didn't say anything about the fight. She just talked about his struggle with mental health, and then also his drinking, his more recent in the past couple of years drinking. And then the two of them together is not a good combination. That's it. That's all she said, to her credit. So when he said that, I'm like, the only thing he has ever really addressed besides his sadness for everything that he's going to miss, which I get. I mean, we're all going to be sad when somebody that we love moves on and goes on, but like, there's just no accountability whatsoever. None. Oh, it makes me so angry. I really... Redemption arc. Opportunity gone. Opportunity gone. If he tries now, like, what's the point? A year later, year and a half later. Okay, I'm going to try not to bash him that much. Okay, I just went in hard. Okay, I'm going to pull back. But he... Oof. Ooh, farm girl. Good point. To rehab his image, he could have organized something where all the kids helped dig that grave. Could have been a restorative experiment. Yeah. Yeah, it could have been something they did together. I feel like his brother and his stepbrother, right? I believe the stepbrother is the one. I think I misspoke on my video. I believe the stepbrother is the one who is managing the farm, the ranch. Now, ranchers and farmers, very different. They don't like each other, or they each think the other one is better or whatever. So he would have been there the whole time. So he would have been there all the times that those boys came up there. They spent the whole summer up there for years. And the boys really loved going up there. You know how much time that is? Think about it. That's a lot of time. That is a lot of time. Even just the whole moving of the cattle and driving them from one, it's such a rich experience. Yeah, I used to experience, but it really is. I bet that uncle was pretty close with those boys. So it was really fitting for him to be the one to speak. And you knew he was close with them because only somebody that close would trust the way he did and would understand Garrison's humor and make sure that he brought it into him talking. I keep wanting to use the word sermon. It wasn't really a sermon. It was, it wasn't really a eulogy either, because I believe the actual funeral they had, this was just sort of you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. His talking on the graveside. But yeah, it could have been an opportunity to have them all come together. I'd be interested to know if it ever crossed his mind, and if he did try to reach out and have them be a part of that. Because we never did see Cody greet any of the kids, right? I don't see we didn't see any interaction with Cody and Robin and any of the kids besides the one who I thought was Logan. Pretty sure it was Logan. I should pull it back up. I do have the thing pulled up here. I'm going to look closely. Logan, who looks very different now. It's near the end. Going up and hugging. I don't think Cody was anywhere around at that time, but hugging Robin and the girls. Now, it would not be unusual for Gabe to do that, because I do believe at Logan's wedding, Gabe made a point. Well, first of all, Logan invited all of them, so that's reaching out. But Gabe also made a point to go up and greet Robin and the kids, and he told Robin that he loved her. So that was big. That was big, right? Because they just got married this past October. So at this point, they're not married, right? Unless I'm a whole year off. I don't think Michelle and Logan, or are they? Yeah. No. I don't know. The timeline in TLC is so messed up. Maybe they didn't just get married this past October. Maybe it was the October before. I second guess myself now. All right. Aurora is like 4 inches taller than Cody, I tell you. I wonder if he wears lifts. Because here they all had to take their shoes off and be barefoot in the grass, and she's taller than him significantly. Okay. So, yeah, that's Logan. Logan is the one that helped his dad, or reached out to help his dad. It looks like Gabe is more over to the side a little bit. I didn't see him really doing much. I didn't even realize where he was the whole time, but he was to the right from the way we're looking at the picture. Gabe is even further off to the right than Logan was. Logan's pretty much right there by the gravesite. And when Hunter put, well, it may have been after Maddie did, at some point when they were putting things with Garrison, Maddie and Hunter embraced. She was holding one of the little kids. I think it was JoJo. I think she had the little one. And she hugged him. That was Logan standing right there too. And I never saw where, but I guess I didn't really try to either. But yeah, do you guys want me to take a picture of him so you can see? Let me try to do that for you so that you can see what, because he does look very different. Oh, he's kind of like right behind the pastor. All right, I'm going to see if I can find a... Oh, there we go. That's good. Oh, Look, I pulled up notes to self. I started listening. I am 6 minutes into the hour-long thing. I just started it right after I listened to myself and made sure I didn't like upload double talk on top of it. I've done that in the past. Had two audios going at the same time or something horrible. Okay, so here's a picture of Logan. And it's going to take me a minute or two to let me airdrop it to my computer, and I'm going to have to convert it because it doesn't read that format. That we have to change it to a JPEG. Okay. He does look different though. I never realized. Well, I guess his hair has always been pretty short. I was going to say, I never realized he had curly hair. Image. It's loading. There we go. There's Logan. So he really does look similar to Gabe. You see? So he was up front there. Gabe now. So you see Christine is kind of to the right of him. Gabe is way off on the right side, kind of back. He really hung back. Danny, oh, you thought that was Gabe? Yeah, no, that's. Do you need a picture of Gabe to compare? Or does it look like Logan to you now that you see it up close? Yeah. What I'm not 100% sure on is who's the one that hugged Robin, though. Because there, I can try to pull that up and take a picture, and you guys can let me know what you think. I didn't really take the time to. I just assumed it was Logan because it looked like Logan to me, but it is true that they resemble each other a lot. Yeah, I didn't notice Gabe at all throughout the entire funeral part. I mean, I didn't try to either. It's not like, where'd he go? But I kept noticing Logan because he was just like right up front there. It's good to see all the kids, right? Wasn't it great to see them all together? I loved that. I wish Logan was fishing too. Maybe he was. I was going to say maybe he's the one that took the picture, but he didn't because Christine, she took the picture and then said, okay, I'm going to run to get in it. So she must have set it up somewhere or handed it to a producer and said, okay, this looks good. You hold it. I'm going to run. I guess you could have done that with, I mean, anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just would have liked, and I would have liked to have seen Mary there too. That would have been everybody then, right? Besides McKelty, who said she wasn't going to go. Okay. I'm looking at the show now. Time to switch the names. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to pause it. Oh, it's both of them. Oh, no, these are, okay. So at first, Hunter's walking away, and I may have said this on the video. First, it's Mary. So Mary just got finished hugging Logan. Now she's giving Gabe a hug. Hunter's already beyond walking in the other direction away. So I assume he gave her a hug too, or she gave him a hug too, but they're not really all together. They were kind of spread out. There's beautiful Savannah. I think the next scene is Janelle, just watching her interview. She breaks my heart. It's Logan. All right, I'll take a picture. Well, all we see is, well, yeah, we see him hugging Brianna and then Aurora. We don't see him hugging Robin. I'm not saying he didn't. But I'll try to pause it where you can see his face a little bit better. But that's all that they show in the clip. Oh, shoot, Jenny. Get it together. He may have, I don't know, she's kind of behind him. It would be weird that... It's interesting that the camera's following Logan a lot. Maybe Logan's the only one that really said hi to everybody for being somebody who doesn't really like being on the show. Sorry if you keep hearing the clicking. It goes so fast, I don't want to... Oh, Jenny! You're the worst. Okay. I'm paying attention now. Okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell from this picture, but... All right. I'm going to go back to the chat while I get this loaded. Take a second while I translate it. Okay. Whew. It is good for me to take a look at it, though, because I couldn't remember a lot of the details. Now, it's going to be fuzzy for certain. I wonder who this other boy is. I don't think that's Solomon. Is Solomon wearing like a salmon-colored shirt? If so, he's grown really tall. No, he would be taller than... he would be taller than Logan if that were the case, so I don't think so. Okay, back to the live stream. Steamfrog99 says a difference. It seems like Logan was being helpful, caring, while Coco was putting on Coco. It's funny. Putting on a performance. It did feel that way, didn't it? Baldylocks seemed angry at the burial, at everyone. Interesting. Interesting. He seemed very intense, didn't he? He has hands on his hips, which I just think is odd for a guy to do in general. Usually girls stand, but even at I don't stand with my hands on my hips unless I'm angry. Now that you mention it, or I'm trying to think when else I would just stand with my hands on my hips. I don't know. It's something I did as a kid a lot, but as an adult, I don't. Bridget Jeanette said that Garrison would go see Robin's kid Solinari every day. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she never talked about that. He would. That's something she could have shared, right? When it came to sharing things, why would she share nothing on any of those couch interviews or any of the opportunities while they were looking at different things? Or let's see, Cody, I don't think it made it into my video, but I want to say there were 2 times he mentioned Garrison. One was the one I put in there about the time that he had the bloody nose, that Cody wasn't even there, but Cody's sharing the story with the guys who were probably there with him that time. How gracious are they? How gracious are they that they didn't just be like, yeah, Cody, let me tell you what happened, actually. It wasn't that it was so dry. It was that your younger son bopped him in the nose because he was on the cart. And so your younger son thought he should be on the cart because he was tired. Understandably. They didn't correct him. They could have. All right. He's a dad. He's a dad. Get it straight. Logan married in 2022. And Garrison passed away in 22 too, right? So it would have been the same year. Oh, wait, we're in 25. No, he passed away in 23. So they were married. Okay. Yeah, the timeline is getting the best of me now. I just can't wait for us to catch up. Although we're going to go the whole summer without it. So we're going to get like another 6 months behind again. Carol says she can't be as forgiving as Janelle. I couldn't either. I don't think I could. I could probably contain myself to not be mean, but I don't know that I could have been. Maybe in the situation, you want to see the best in someone because at one point you did love them and you can look at them in that moment and think about what you were feeling at the time that the kids were born and when they were young and when you were still in love and when things were good and when he was a good dad and all that. So maybe she just like put herself back there. And when he said he wanted to do this and carry him back to the site, she had the same vision that I had in my head. I honestly think she's not going to be happy when she sees the episode. There was no pilgrimage. The ironic part about it is that he used the word 25 times and it never happened. I don't know. I mean, clearly he doesn't understand what the word means. Or I don't. Again, I still haven't looked it up. But I mean, it's not exactly a word that you use every day. I mean, what was the last time I used it? I probably learned what the word meant when I was in 3rd grade, 1st grade, when you learn about the pilgrims and then pilgrimages. And then maybe, I don't know, Sojourner Truth or Lewis and Clark. I mean, there were probably pilgrimages that people took, maybe the 49ers, just sort of American history, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of other pilgrimages. Usually it's more religious related when people take pilgrimages to like a holy Mecca kind of place. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I really believe a pilgrimage is the journey to go somewhere for a purpose. And there was a purpose behind this for sure. It's not the final destination. Hands on his hips with his bulging belly and pink shirt. Man of Steel. Now all that's left waiting on Cody is Robin's happy relationship to implode. I'd be speechless if they lived happily ever after. I would be too. The only way they're going to live happily ever after, and they're not going to live happily ever after, the only way they're going to stay together and continue to pretend that everything is great and that they're madly in love with each other, or at least that she's madly in love with him. He might be with her. If he understands what love is, it's unclear. I don't know. Would be if the show continues. No show, I think, means no Robin. I don't think it would be long afterwards that she'd be like, I can do better. Daria, didn't Cody turn down the help from his sons because he felt he deserved to lay Garrison to rest? That's why he stood there like, could be. This is my thing. I'm the dad. I don't need help. I don't need help digging the hole. I don't need help getting in the hole. I don't need... The hole they dug was pretty small too. Like, I mean, I don't want to be nitpicky here, but in the end, it wasn't big enough to get into. Like, we couldn't see it from afar, but like somebody finished it. He didn't dig. It was just it was big enough for the urn. It wasn't big enough for a person to get in and put the urn in too. Right? Am I wrong on this? I didn't realize that till afterwards either. But I'm like, wait. When I was going back and doing the editing and I was looking at it and they like pulled back and I looked at the hole, I'm like, the hole was like this big. It was big enough for the urn, maybe a little bit, it was bigger than the urn, but it was not big enough for a person to get in there and get the urn and then set it down in there as well. From a distance, we didn't see it up close. It looked like the plot that was dug was significant. So did Cody really? Or was that just for TV? And then he got tired, sat, watched the sun, and then left and said, okay, guys, now take over. I mean, just like the picnic tables, just like everything else we think that he didn't really complete. Classless as nobody anywhere has ever referred to Cody as yummy. She lays it on thick on the other. Yep, she does. Too much. That's what I'm saying. It's too much. Both of them do the same thing. They don't understand that, Cody's saying, and then my kids look at us and they're like, when we're all into each other. No, they don't. You're laying it on too thick. The lie's too big now. So can't believe a thing you say. Nope. Hi, Kite, and thank you for hitting the like button. I am glad that we're in the hundreds, almost up to 150 likes. Thank you. Or at 808 we were. We're at 813 now. Okay, what else did I write down here? I want to make sure I don't miss. Oh, let me change the banners. I forgot that alarm went off. There we go. There's our keep the lights on level. And I will admit, I think the last banner that was going across was exclusive SOS. And then you saw it said big supporters. 90% sure it's all up to date, at least with the new people. Every now and then there's a person or two during the week that drops out or drops to a different level. So, and we had a couple of level movers. So you might be listed in both levels because I didn't have time to go through all of it. I'm not going to explain the whole thing to you, but unfortunately, the way YouTube is set up, it won't let me just look at all the names together. I have to take it. I have to download it as a spreadsheet. I can't separate them. Then I have to import it into Excel. And then from Excel, I have to then separate it by levels. It's a deal. It's a deal. I don't know why they didn't make it so difficult, but okay. Yes. No, none, NE. Overcompensation. That's what's happening. Overcompensating for something. Something's askew and not right between the two of those people. Okay. Oh, here we go. Joni has a definition. Pilgrimage is a devotional practice consisting of a prolonged journey, often undertaken on foot or on horseback, toward a specific destination of significance. Thank you, Joni. Did he take him on a pilgrimage? I don't know. I saw the family go on vacation. Was he with them? I don't know. And if he was, where was he? They weren't with them. I would think that you'd want them like with you the whole time. If I had the ashes of somebody that's significant to me, I would not even want to get out of my car to go into the gas station to pay for I wouldn't want to leave him. Where was he during this whole escapade? Not that they can't do other things. I'm not saying that I just really thought he was going on a pilgrimage because that's what he said. That's all. I thought it was he and his boy. I'm going to take my boy. I pictured them riding north together. That didn't happen. Did anyone recognize that car? Is that one of their cars? Did they drive up there or did they rent that and fly up there? No pilgrimage if they flew, I'll tell you that. I mean, it's not that far away, right? I don't know. If they're down in Arizona, it's a little bit of a hike, depending on where in Montana it is. Wyoming, excuse me. I will get Wyoming and Montana screwed up all the time. Idaho and Utah as well. I don't know why. And then today I threw Oregon in there. Pilgrimage is generally a trip to the Holy Land. Okay, yeah, I thought they had some sort of holy journey involved in it. They get copies of Pilgrim's Progress. Pilgrim's Progress 155. Thank you, Stacy G, for hitting the like button. Good point, Betty. I didn't think about this. He didn't mention his military career at all. One of the most important things to Garrison. All he talked about was this train like 1,800 times. And yet, if you go back to when Garrison was, I think he was doing like his boot camp, maybe. And then he surprised the family when he came home. That's the scene when he was hugging his mom and she was like, oh, and she was like laughing. She was holding the food and she was also hugging him and laughing in the garage. And then he came running in like this to all the kids and they were all surprised. Logan brought him home for that. So Logan was in on that. Logan drove him back to the house that day. Maybe Cody knew about it because he didn't act as excited or thrilled or that to see Garrison that day, but it might just me being judgmental. I don't know. But I mean, he did eventually give him a hug. You know, he's like, where have you been? You know, he was that kind of that, where have you been, boy? Wouldn't it have been interesting if that would have been the same line? He did say something like that to him when he got out of the car, but it was nighttime. Anyway, when they got into the house, the talking head interview over that whole scene was Cody talking about how proud he was of Garrison going into the military, that he was becoming a man and it's a sign of manhood and that he can see him doing this for a few years and then going off to college and becoming a commissioned officer, which is the path that Hunter took. May have been the path he would have taken someday too. I don't know. I don't know what his original or plans were in life, but Cody was so incredibly proud because, you know, Cody likes his military man stuff, anything that's manly, but not a word about it. Not a word. It was very touching that Peyton, I didn't even realize that Peyton was in the military. But I guess I don't know that much about Peyton. But both Peyton and Hunter, their kind of respect for him there, that on top of being brothers, that sort of additional brotherhood that they belong to. It was sweet. All right. I have written down here the episode of the No Pilgrimage. I've never heard the word pilgrimage so many times. The temptation to just do a montage of every time he said experience and pilgrimage. I had to resist myself. 2 reasons. I didn't have the time to do it. And it wasn't the topic of the episode. Not that it's ever going to be the topic of the episode, but I felt like, all right, I don't know. Trust me. Trust and believe. We use the word experience more than we ever have in the past. And I only did a little clip on it one time. And that was just because Gabe was making fun. He wasn't intentionally, but the producers, the one time, okay, kudos to Puddle Monkey, since I don't like you most of the time, did a nice job of splicing Cody talking about this event of him getting the bloody nose because it was so dry out there, and cut to Gabe going, oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. He has a bloody nose because I punched him square in the nose. That's why it's bloody. Cody doesn't know. Cody wasn't there. Ridiculous. All right. Tracy, Robin is so cold. She makes Antarctica look like a Hawaiian paradise. That's funny. That's true. All right, I got to hit the star on that. I don't know if I did. Did I? Okay, good. Steam Frog. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Steam Frog. Let me hit the thing on there too. Okay. Cody can't understand the offspring as soon as they stop reflecting him. He's genuinely baffled, but won't learn a blessed thing. Isn't that true? Once they're no longer a reflection of dad, like a little mini me Cody running around, once they have their own thoughts, minds, plans, destinations, well, I'm going to move to another state. What? I mean, did you see him cry like a baby when Caleb left? Not even one of his own children. He didn't seem that sad that Maddie left. It's going to be interesting down the road to just see how everything pans out, because Cody, Mr. Manly Cody, who's all into wrestling and military and all things manly and powerlifting and all this stuff, all those boys who kind of relate on some level, and they're not like Cody whatsoever, but are interested in outdoor stuff and military and that type of thing, he's estranged from them. He's got Saul. So it's going to be interesting to see if he tries to push Saul into becoming the man that he thinks he should be. Because these uncles of his made Garrison the man that he is on these cattle drives. Let's see. Saul's still young. We'll see. We'll see if Saul ever goes on a cattle drive, won't we? Yes, we will. We will see. And yeah, there's a lot of failure to launch going on in that family for sure. Janelle's in shock. Yeah, and it comes in waves. Yeah. I remember once the weirdest thing, just driving down the freeway after my grandma passed, about maybe 2 decades ago now. And it was like the next week, but all of a sudden I just thought, like, that wave of grief hit. And I just remember looking at all the cars going by and everyone just like minding their own business and just having that weird feeling of like, why is everyone just going about their day like everything is fine? It was this weird, surreal moment at that time of like, do you all not know what just happened? And then you push past it and you move on. But yeah, those waves, they come. I don't know if it was a song on the radio. I don't know if I was just thinking of something. I have no idea. But I just remember a wave coming over me once when I was in the car driving. And not only being sad in the moment, but starting to get angry at the people around me for not being sad. It was nonsensical. I understand, but grief is weird. Sorry. Potential spam has been trying to get me all day, and I forgot to turn off my ringer. Sorry, potential. You'll have to try another day. I'm sure you will. Lindsay B., is that true? I did not look at her face when he was giving his speech. I'll have to go back and look. See, she didn't believe any of it either. Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You believe the crew finished the job of the burial. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, just throwing this out there. Oh, let's look at our poll. I haven't looked at the poll here. Ooh, what was the poll again? Do you believe that Cody really had that dream? 93% said no. Wow. Okay. This one's more of a landslide. 7% said yes. 93% said no. Okay. Interesting. It's always interesting to me. Sometimes I always just think we all think alike. And then the other one's like, oh, it's 50-50. Which is great. I like to hear different opinions too. But yeah, we all think something was off about that little. It felt rehearsed, right? Oh, shoot. I started saying something. Oh, Maddie at the end. I wonder if it was her idea or the producer's idea to have that conversation at the very end there. Because for her to be talking to Leon, who hasn't been on the show in years, I just found it really interesting. And no other kids really sat down and gave any kind of reflective thing. So, and I know Maddie has really been hurt by him. So I wonder if she's like, I'm ready. Because that was after the funeral. So if Maddie had disdain on her face while he was giving that speech, she could have said, I have something to say. And added that at the very end and let the producers know. I'm going to talk to somebody about this. Leon, Audrey, you're sitting here. All you have to do is listen. Which is what I didn't see Audrey's face at all. But Leon was like, I was like, okay, go. You go, Maddie. I'm just a sounding board here. And I find it interesting that Leon said, I would really like to have a conversation with Robin's kids. See, this is something that I don't have an answer to, and I wish the kids would speak to. Why is it that the kids don't talk to each other? Are the kids not responding? Are Robin's kids, I should say, not responding to the rest of the kids when they text? And so then the rest of the kids just give up. Or are they blocked? Is there a way that they can't get a hold of them? Is Robin really keeping them apart? That's what I want to know. Because Maddie's like, if I had the opportunity, I would tell them I'm sorry. If there's anything I did, I'm sorry. I'm like, well, why don't you tell them you're sorry? If there's anything you did, you're sorry. You know, like these are the things that I'm like, well, why is this not happening? I don't understand. And Leon says the same thing. Like, oh, I really would like to someday talk with them. Why is that not happening? The only reason I can think of is Robin. Because these are all kids who are highly successful and independent. They know how to pick up a phone and call. They're not their father. So I think they're being blocked somehow. Find that interesting too. All right. If Cody hugged Robin, his arms would have fallen off. Cody would have been pissed. Oh, yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, I misspoke when I said that he hugged Robin and them. I misspoke. I didn't look at it close enough. It was Logan hugged the two that we saw. I don't know what happened before. I know afterwards they dissipated. So after he hugged the two sisters, Robin was hanging back and they started walking this way. And Robin eventually kind of like followed along. So there was no hugging going on at that point. But could he have maybe went up and hugged Robin first and then backed up and then hugged them? Maybe. Seems like they would have shown it on the show. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Well, Michelle, that's a good point. I don't want her to fake it either. So I am happy that she didn't fake any feeling, because that would have made us even more angry. Absolutely would have made us more angry if she would have faked any feelings. I just wish she would have said something nice. She didn't have to fake any feelings. We don't see feelings ever anyway. So when she fakes the feelings, it's not good. So that would have been bad. But to just say something kind, anything, neutral even. There was nothing. Nothing. Okay. The horse had a back brace. Poor horse. It's getting PT now on a daily rotation. The local vet clinic. Oh, Tina, that's such a good point. Robin was talking about how her daughter was so cool after she got baptized. I didn't have anything to say about Garrison. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oops, let me scroll. Oops, it's got stuck. Okay. Armada is their truck. I think Robin's. Was that an Armada truck? I don't know anything about vehicles. It gets me from point A to point B. It has air conditioning and a radio. I'm happy. No, and heated seats and a heated steering wheel. Now I'm a little bit spoiled. You know, you get something nice once. If you live in a cold climate area, it's really nice. So was that car? Was that the kind of car that it was that they were driving? Was that their car? That's my shoe said that when she transported the ashes, you seatbelted them in the passenger seat. See, that's what I was picturing. That's what I was picturing. The seatbelt going and a conversation happening. Yeah, that didn't happen. Ah, it is Robin's car. Okay. It's a Genesis. Oh, a Genesis. Genesis, the name of? I don't know. There was some fancy car the other day. Parents were doing some paperwork with their estate. And I went with them. And we saw some fancy car in the parking lot. We were admiring all the cars of the lawyers in the parking lot. My dad is a car person. He's like, what is that one? So I was backing up in the parking lot so we could see. And, wow. But it didn't look like that car at all. I don't know, whatever the brand name was, we didn't even recognize it. I don't know, how can there be a brand I'd never even heard of? All right. Danny did a Jubilee pilgrimage. Not like Cody's? No. So it actually existed, and you did do a pilgrimage, is what you're saying. Oh. Oh, was he really? Gabe was also holding a beer during the burial. You saw him near paid him at one point. They did a toast or something at the end. Zoanne just doesn't believe any of it. She doesn't believe that there was any transporting that happened on behalf of Cody. I could see Robin saying, I don't think that's a good idea with the youngins in the car. That Genesis, was there room for 6? Didn't look like it was that big of a, maybe. I didn't pay that close attention. For a long drive. What? Somebody look that up for me. How far is it from Flagstaff to wherever to Lovell, Wyoming? How long is that drive? I'm curious. Thank you, Kathy. I love you too. Vanessa, you're going to leave a comment after the live. Can you please? Okay, I'm going to write myself a note. I also just want everybody to know that I am very, very well aware that I'm very far behind on responding to emails that you guys send me. And I'm sorry. But let me tell you this. I promise you, June is a way better month for me. May is almost like hell month instead of hell week. It's been something. It's been kind of crazy. But I don't want to wish my life away. You know, it's like I don't want to listen here. We're talking about all of this, and I'm complaining about just being busy, but it was really busy. It's a month like I've never had before in my life, but it's fine. It's fine. But and it's almost over. Okay. After Memorial Day weekend, in fact, it's going to be better. Well, yeah. June. Come June, all is well. And I am going to catch up on everything. I'm going to catch up on comments, especially for all the members, because those are all pulled out by YouTube. So I'll catch up on those. I'll catch up on emails. So my apologies to everybody, but I will look at comments after live chat or live stream. Got so much to say tonight. DJ Tag says, Cody makes up all this BS to act like he was such a part of their lives once Robin came. Bye-bye. That's right. Near the Montana border. Okay. Yeah. Google it for me. Put it in Google Maps. Tell me the time it takes to drive from that one city to the other. Cindy from Oz. Look at you up on your movies. Or series, I should say. I remember when Lonesome Dove. I never watched an episode of it, though. I remember when it was on TV. Cody used the word pilgrimage for filming purposes only. Cody was trying to copy the series Lonesome Dove, where a cowboy takes his best friend's body via horse and wagon from Montana to Texas. There you go. Sounds very Cody, doesn't it? Ugh. 15 hours? You think they drove in that car for 15 hours? That is a solid 2 days drive. You're not having Ari in that car for more than 8 hours a day. No way. Probably 3 days. 3 days driving? I don't know. Sherry said that Cody did once state that he had any regrets for basically not mending things with Garrison and after his other kids before something this horrible occurred. I don't remember that, Sherry. But that's interesting. It'll be interesting as we start going back and rewatching everything. It'll take a while to catch up to this kind of stuff, though. But just to see the things that he says. Oh, it was the National Guard he was in. Okay. DJ Tag, what a crazy family you have. Your sister punched your brother in front of your dad's casket. That's insane. Oh, that was a good line, Becky, right? Listen, that brother-in-law, he was sticking it to Cody. Maybe after that whole pilgrimage and the whole digging of the grave and listening to everything Cody said during that filming and him biting his tongue and saying nothing, he went home and rewrote that thing because it felt like it was directed right at Cody. A lot about what you need to do to mend things and not leave things and make sure that the family's together. And I'm just sitting here thinking, again, this was like one of those scenes I would have edited if I had more time. Cut to the whole family together fishing, the whole family together getting ready before the burial, the whole family together at the fire pit at the end of the day and shooting off fireworks. The whole family is together. Only Cody is separated, and Robin and their kids. So it was all directed towards him because everything he was saying that they need to do and to make sure this doesn't happen again and to make sure you mend all these different things, mended on everyone's part. There was something, I ended up cutting it out because I just was rambling on and on and on. So I edited it out. But I basically, at the time that I was watching it, said when it came to relationships, Cody's estranged from everyone's everything that Cody has said and done that's caused all of this, and the barriers and the limitations that he put up, and his insistence on these rules that people had to follow to make amends with Robin before he would even talk to them, or they would certainly be allowed in his home. He wouldn't even go to a neutral site. Remember, Garrison wanted to have, was it Thanksgiving? I think Thanksgiving at his home. And because he thought it would be a neutral site away from them, not the mom's homes, not the dad's homes. Let's have it in my home. No, Cody says no. So Cody caused all of it. Now, that being said, I do believe that there are some kids now that are estranged and not speaking to him, which is really bothering him because now they have the upper hand. Now, if he wants to go talk to him and they just kind of brush him off, he's like, what's this all about? Like, he never thought that any of his kids would do anything other than bend a knee and bow down to him. So the fact that Maddie's like, no, you have repeatedly not shown up for the grandkids. You've been inconsistent in their life, and that is not good for them. So until you can show consistency and actually be a grandfather, act like a grandfather, there's not going to be a relationship here. His response to that was, well, it's your fault for moving across the country. Yeah. It's never going to be any different with that kind of attitude, right? Even when you're told, here's what you're doing wrong, this is how you can do it right, he's got an excuse for defending himself at all times for his behavior. It makes me really happy to call it behavior too, because of all those times over the years that he refers to Christine's behavior. He's never done it with any of the other wives, but it's always Christine. Your behavior. Oh, goes all the way back to, what was that guy's name? Was it Tim? Who was the dark-haired friend of his that told Cody that he's welcome back at the LDS church? He just has to get rid of some of his wives first. And Christine took a huge offense at it. Can't remember his name. Anyway, I remember that was the earliest one I can recall. There may have been one before that. That's the earliest one I can recall, though. All the way back then, him berating Christine for her behavior. Just treating her like a child. That term makes me angry. So it makes me really happy when I talk about Cody's behavior being so bad. I feel like I'm doing Christine a solid. Oh, yes. Good point, Lynn. That's another topic I wanted to bring up. Cody did not know what that urn was going to look like, right? Which is fine. He didn't have to know what it was going to look like. I think he called it interesting, first of all, because he had nothing to do with it. He wasn't involved on the creative side of it in terms of planning, implementing, or executing, and he couldn't. Mitch has skills beyond Cody's. Cody can take bark off a tree, cut tree down. That's it. Mitch can take this tree, make this most amazing urn out of it, carve this incredible Norse ship. Oh, it was beautiful. So I think that Cody was hurt, offended that he wasn't involved in any of that. He didn't know what it was going to look like. And I also think there is a very good chance he had no idea why this thing looks like a Viking ship. I think so. I think there's a very good chance that because he would have shared that, right? He would have said, it was very interesting. So he did this because, because Cody always likes to be in the know and he likes to, always share whatever knowledge he has. He said nothing about it other than, It's really interesting. I didn't think about that till afterwards. Thanks for bringing that up, Lynn, because I had forgotten about that. So I didn't put it in. I didn't think about it when I was making the video, but when I was listening in the shower again today, all these thoughts that kept coming to my mind. I'm like, oh, and I was thinking, I bet he doesn't even know why. That's why it's like shocking and interesting to him. And Robin didn't have 2 words to say about it either. All she said was he carved a ship. She didn't crack a smile. She didn't. I probably had more smile there than she did. It was the frown in the interview. That was it. Mitch carved a ship. Yep. That's what bugged Cody about the whole thing. Michelle says she's been to 3 Mormon funerals, and all 3 times the family took pictures. Don't know if it's a thing in this area of Utah or if it's a Mormon thing. That's a good question. It really has been a long time since I've been to a funeral like of immediate family. I've been to a bunch of funerals of like friends and like friends' parents who passed away, or a friend's husband, who suddenly passed away, that kind of thing. But I wasn't there long enough to really notice. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I should go back and look at some of my mom's old scrapbooks and see if she has pictures in there of it. I don't know what our culture does. Mom Squirrel wants to see inside their new house. I think that picture of Garrison that they show in the garage is in the garage of the new house. I don't think it's in the garage connected to the house. You know how there's a separate garage that has like heating and air conditioning and a bathroom and all that stuff, and then also has a second area big enough for an RV to go in. So I was convinced that's where Dayton was going to live, in the RV in the garage, because he had running water and plumbing there. I don't know what he did at the other house, but or not. Maybe Dayton's in a whole nother state. No say. I find it interesting that nobody knows. Don't you? Dayton, reach out to me. I love you. Let's chat. We can record it and it won't be live, just on the side. Tell you all the questions ahead of time. Before I post anything, you could watch it first. People love you, Dayton. I would love to have an interview with you. Oh, wouldn't that be great? I know nothing. It's never going to happen because there's nobody out there who is sharing anything about his life or where he is. So obviously he wants to be incognito. And so I respect that. But boy, I'd just love to know about him and what's going on with him now. Wouldn't you? I have so many questions. 50% of the questions he'll probably say, you can't ask me that. So I'd be like, okay, next question. Oh, I always loved Dayton from the moment he was on that show. He was the best. Liz, I've always wondered if there's something about that kind of going on. Like, just didn't get the full approval. And so Cody was like, yeah, why don't you move on? The other boys moved on too, so it's the right thing to do. Although the girls didn't have to. Danny. Maddie calls him Cody. Yeah. It shows how much disrespect she has. No respect left for the man. She does not identify him as dad. Or I should say, she does not refer to him as dad. She refers to him as Cody. That's been before too. Before this episode, When they were driving into the property, I'm trying to think, was that on the show or was that on one of the Tata Farms episode? I don't know, I think it was on the show. When they were driving into the property and Christine said, "This is so great that you guys are actually you're going to do something with this because we've had our property for over 7 years and we've done nothing." And Maddie said, "Well, that's what Cody does. He can't finish anything, or he can't initiate any, like he doesn't complete anything." So I remember at that time thinking that's interesting that she called him Cody. Huh, 80% CMOS said that she doesn't think that Robin's going to let Solomon wrestle. No way. Work on the ranch? No way. Anything of the sort? No way. Mm-mm. I smell something really good. It smells like a grilled cheese sandwich. It's kind of late at night to be eating a grilled cheese sandwich. Oh, Kathy. Oh, country road to the place I belong. I know. John Denver songs in general can just make you cry. But I mean, if you had a special connection with it too, I can only imagine. That's sweet though, that you have that special bond. Nicole, interesting. He said it after all the kids put something meaningful in. Cody and Robin had nothing to put in. So he brought the attention back to him. I do find it interesting that he said some of the kids had stuff to put in. Now, Robin didn't, because we saw her just throw dirt. Now, it's possible that they put something in and they also threw in dirt. I guess that could have happened, but I feel like the show would have showed it if Robin had any. She wouldn't have. She can't even say anything. She can't even acknowledge him. So she definitely had nothing. I don't think the other kids did either. I wonder if all of the kids did except for Robin's kids. And so then Cody said some of the kids put stuff in. And by some, we mean all except for Robin's kids, who had nothing to contribute. Because they were brainwashed into believing that he's bad. Hummingbird bee, look at the conspiracy going. Maddie and Leon's chat looked like it was filmed on a cell phone. So my guess, she wanted it included. I like a good conspiracy. Good point, Sherry. Cody had some horrible things to say about Maddie, calling her a gasper, starting trouble. I think because she is a grown woman who stands on her ground, and he doesn't like that. Yeah, she's a grown woman with her own thoughts. God forbid. We'll see what happens with Ari. It's going to be hard for him to keep up with her. 80% CMOS. Thank you for the super chat. The one time Cody needed gloves. Wasted. I missed a good opportunity to talk about the fact he didn't have gloves on. Man, he remembered to bring all those tools and no gloves. Oh, opportunity lost. Thanks for pointing that out. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. Remember, those are the girls who asked Janelle if her bed was where the dogs were. I think it was actually Savannah's bed. She thought Savannah's bed was the dog's bed. Right? Or maybe I'm mistaking it. I thought it was Savannah's bed. Savannah's like, "Oh, that's my bed." Ugh. Becky said, "Wasn't it weird when he said, 'You need to dig the grave, didn't you?'" Mm-hmm. And Cody would nod. Yeah. Remember when, yeah, because his response actually looked very much like it was a programming, didn't it? He's like, uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Just staring off. Really? Seriously. My mind went to, after the fact, yeah, but I've said this 50 times already, so I don't know that we want to talk about it again. We've talked about it so many times. But yeah, it's interesting. Okay, what else do I have on my list? I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, I talked about the dream, which I don't think was a dream. I think I still have the poll up. Oh, yeah, 93. We're still at the same point. Yep. Oh, I wrote that note there about Janelle pointing her finger at Cody. I feel like there's 2 times that, although she's been way more forgiving of him, I guess, way more, in the moment, she's just probably just numb. She didn't have the energy to deal with a fight with Cody during this. So when he's like, "I'd like to do something really nice for our son," she probably thought, "Yes, do something really nice for our son." She's just in the mode of surviving and getting through each day. So she was very gracious to him and said, "Yes, that would be sweet that you can take him on this pilgrimage." If only he did. Anyway, but I feel like her saying it's very symbolic that he'll dig the hole. For the longest time, I thought she was saying, "I think it's good. I like the symbolism, the connection." I was looking at it from a really sweet point of view, but maybe she was throwing a little dig at him. Maybe she was saying, "You had a hand in his angst." I'm not going to say you had a hand in what he did. But you had a hand in his angst, in his anxiety, in this argument, in this, and we don't know what all led up to. None of it's on the show. All that got scrapped. What would have been in this season, instead of watching Christine go to dress fitting after dress fitting after dress fitting and cake fitting and party for this and party for that and party for this. This was going to be a lot more of Gabe and Garrison, because of that ongoing situation. So we don't know what all transpired during that time. So for her to say, I think it's fitting and symbolic that he dig the grave. Well, he kind of dug himself into this situation, right? If you want to go all the way to the extreme of saying he did have a hand in what happened, well, now you dig his final resting place because of what you've done. Now, seems extreme. I'm taking a leap there because I don't want to say specifically it's his fault. But nobody can deny that he had a hand in the animosity, the angst, the anxiety, and everything that was going on with Garrison. And then the other comment that Janelle said was, "I don't know, he never was a drinker. He doesn't even like the taste of alcohol." And suddenly, around COVID, something caused him to start drinking. Do you think it's possible she was, again, pointing the finger at Cody and saying, what happened at that time that would cause him to suddenly have a change in behavior and act in a way he hadn't before? What would cause him to want to turn to maybe alcohol to forget his problems or to escape? Hypothetically, I'm not saying this is it, but I feel like those 2 comments which could be interpreted as just benign. Like, I don't know what happened during COVID. And I just think it's nice and symbolic that he's going to be with his son. Really, when you really look at them, knowing the whole situation, both could be Janelle saying, she's calling out Cody. Possibly. I don't know. What do you think? Am I off base there? Nicole wants to know if the fire pit scene was edited after the funeral happened. Well, like after, like, my interpretation was that it was after. I wish a current, because I thought it was that evening. But that's just because chronologically that's how they showed it in the show, which means nothing on TLC. So what do you mean, Nicole? Like, as opposed to, I just thought it was later that day. And then they were excited that, like, maybe Gabe was like, I've had enough after, because he kind of hung back at the funeral too. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be part of filming. I don't want to be doing anything. And then he showed up that night and they were like, yay, Gabe came. That was my interpretation of it. But I was just taking it at face value and not reading more into it. So tell me what you mean by that. Elizabeth Murphy said yes, he had a hand in it. Betty B, we don't have the answer as to why she gave those ashes to Cody, other than Cody called her and begged to do it. And the boys probably didn't specifically ask, like, and she was grieving immensely. So she wasn't thinking straight also. So when you have the father of your boy say, this is something I'd really like to do for our boy, you just go, oh, okay. Because you probably think, oh, yeah, gosh, it's probably going to be hard for me to take him on that journey myself. And Janelle probably flew. I mean, she did fly. She came from North Carolina. So they flew. So and his ashes were in Flagstaff. And then they were with Logan. And Logan was there. I don't know how they got from Logan back to Cody. And then I also don't know how they eventually got to Mitch or when they got to Mitch. A lot of questions. Puddle Monkey did not answer for us in this episode. Don't know why that matters to me, but I guess it matters to me just because they drop like little bits of information that makes my brain. I'm too left-brained. There you go. I'm too left-brained. I like to put things in order. And when I get these little bits of information that don't make sense, that's why this whole TLC show of Sister Wives drives me nuts, because we're bouncing back and forth, up and down, right and left. And I'm like, what are we talking about? Are we back in what? Is that a year ago? Are we a year ahead now? I don't know why they think it doesn't matter. Little monkey. Never understand why he didn't reach out. I'll never understand that either. I never will. Oh, Purple, that's a good point. Robin did mention that he was packing up those tools to take. He's not going to take those on a plane. So they did drive. Why didn't they show the journey then? If it was all about the pilgrimage, maybe there was nothing to show. Maybe it really wasn't a pilgrimage. It was just a drive. And they did a 3-day drive and stopped and went to amusement parks or whatever along the way. Because if it was something even slightly sentimental or related to Garrison, even if there was no production crew there, Cody has a cell phone. Kids had a cell phone. We saw, who was it? Brianna, when Cody was on the horse with Robin. Brianna kept getting in front of that horse and taking pictures. She was in the view of, she was in front of the camera half the time. I was trying to get a still shot of it. I'm like, would you get out of the way? Aurora too. They were both there. And then, maybe it was Aurora the whole time. Maybe it wasn't Brianna. Anyway, so they're documenting things. They would have definitely, if there would have been anything of significance, it would have made Cody look good. Even Robin would have saw to it that it would have gotten on the show, because she has to know that he looks horrible. Yeah, so they just drove, and who knows? Let's see. I guess they did it, at the beginning of summer? Maybe. Because it was about 4 months later, and he passed away in March. July, yeah. Well, and then the fireworks and all that, so it's sometime in July. Oh, LaShonda, another controversy. The conspiracy theories continue. They're stacking on top of each other tonight. That's my shoe thinks that there were hidden meanings in those messages. I'm starting to think there might be too. Yes. All right. Trying to catch up here. I think Maddie wants people to know that the OG3 kids tried with Robin's kids and are there if they want to reach out. Yeah, I think that is part of it too, Sam. I agree with you. I think that there definitely is part of her that thinks, let me put this on film to make it very clear, because we don't know what she's saying in her talking head interviews about how the kids don't reach out, or those kids won't reach out to my kids or accept my kids, or whatever the mantra that she's been saying for all these past years. For all they knew, she was still saying it. Now she's saying nothing. She didn't have a word to say, but except for supporting Cody and how hard it was for him. But other than that, she may have said, like, we need to make sure this is straight. I find it very interesting that whole thing happened, though. What appears to me to be at the end of the day of when the funeral was earlier in the day. So to me, it looks like she's like, I have my piece to say. Give me the mic. I wish Hunter would have been there in the evening. I didn't see him. He may have been. Some of the people were, I noticed in passing at the very beginning, but I didn't notice later on. But Gwen was there and Aspen was there. So probably Mitch and Bia as well. So he may have been there in the evening. I didn't see him. Second time through, I started noticing other people in the background that I didn't notice around the fire pit, because it really was sort of focused on Maddie and her family. Okay. All right. Joni was saying he's very evasive about his talk about the pilgrimage. And the ashes. Yeah. Not a whole lot of details, right? Oops. Jumped ahead. Okay. I think I'm caught up. That's my shoe said that service members' remains go to the next of kin, which would be Janelle. You sign or they're released to you. No way that she let Cody take them. Maybe not. Betty B, every time I see Mary crying, I'm a wreck. She really, she was emotional. Yeah, when she cries too, she is the polar opposite of Robin. she really, when she cries, it's emotional. She wears all her emotions on her sleeve and on her face. Complete opposite of Robin. And then, Christine and Mary are in the middle of those two. But yeah, so watching her cry, it's hard to not feel it, to feel what she's feeling. Oh, here's a good point. Steam Frog 99 says, if Mary could barely talk to Robin's kids, what chance would the OG 13 have? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Okay, people. I am going to sign off here for tonight. We're not going to do the funnies for this evening. But we will next time. We will catch up and be back on track. And sending love to all of you. Thank you for being here together. This is a great group to talk through this all, work through it all. And we're done with all the sadness now. The sadness is over. It's like, well, I mean, until a wave hits us at some point or something happens. But generally speaking, I feel like spreading it out over 3 episodes made us really go through it too, as opposed to just putting in 1 episode. So in that regard, I think it was good. All right. So let me sign off. Good night, sister friends. I always forget the F. I don't forget the F. My keyboard doesn't want to ever hit it. All right. I love all of you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking everything. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all of it. All the things. Thank you for all of it. I will see you next Tuesday night. Until then, good night, you all.
I remember when Sonny and Cher got divorced when I was 6, and it rattled me.
I had a lover in college, and it was a little tryst. I was a naughty boy.
Things that make you go,